Hey guys, Chad Hoover, Kayak Bass Fishing, and today we're going to answer another subscriber question. So this subscriber question comes from Russell Anderson. And Russell's question was pretty in-depth, and it's a good one. It says, I am a new angler and watch your channels pretty religiously. I have a bona fide SS-127 because of you and love it. Well, thanks, Russell. I don't have a boat. I always hear people talking about covering a lot of water. Obviously, I can't. According to my Navionics app, I cover around 3 miles an outing, and I hit a dozen plus spots to fish. I live in Central Texas area where there are a few rivers as well as deep lakes. I'd love to hear your suggestions on the best practices of those of us that can't compete with the boaters. Appreciate all you do. All right, well, first of all, Russell, thank you for that, and I'm glad you enjoy the content. So let's actually get into this topic because it's actually one I really enjoy talking about in my seminars and in live interactions, and I haven't done a good enough job of talking about it on this channel. And I think that most anglers who fish from a kayak, especially newer anglers, have a tendency to think that they're going to look for their fishing spots once they get to the water. Now, I'll tell you this, you mentioned using the Navionics app. So my suggestion is to take that Navionics app and do a lot of scouting before you get out on the water. Find your best boat ramps and find your spots that you're going to target within the paddling distance of the boat ramp. It doesn't do you a lot of good to spend a lot of time on your Navionics app, on your charts, on Google Earth, finding a spot you can't get to. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm a big fan of Google Earth, but I want you to use it on your desktop. I'm a big fan of Navionics, but I want you to use and download these applications and use them on a bigger screen, okay? Whether that's a laptop, a desktop, because I know a lot of people have gotten to the point where they don't have desktops anymore, but get it up on a bigger screen, okay? So that you can virtually scout. And so really, to answer this question about the best practices, there are not a lot of best practices. My best practice is to know before you go. And that is to get into Google Earth, is to get into the Navionics apps, is to download some of these charts onto your desktop and to virtually scout before you get out on the water. One of the things I like to do is I like to take screenshots of Google Earth while I'm at home, while I'm sitting in front of the computer, and then I like to send those to myself so I can refer back to them when I'm out on the water by downloading them, and I don't have to have a signal to get to them. So if I have a known spot where I'm at, and I can open up the map and I can look at it and I can figure out where I'm at in relation to some of the landmarks or some of the topographical changes that I'm seeing, then it makes it a lot easier. I also am a big fan of having electronics that has charting and mapping, but you got to get up above a 7-inch screen to really get the true benefit from that. More so than anything else, I think marking those locations, and you can mark those locations on Navionics, on Google Earth, and you can also transfer those to your phone, so you can almost use your phone. Actually, you can actually use your phone, you know, in the similar way that you use your depth finder. You can mark waypoints, you can mark them on your phone, and as long as you got a decent signal, you can go in and you can look at those saved spots. So one trick I like to do is use programs like WordSwag. WordSwag is a program that is designed to take pictures and add text to it. But if you use it the way that I use it, you can actually use it to kind of get a low-tech, low-cost version of pulling off what I'm about to explain to you. So here's what you do. You take a screenshot of Google Earth with a good milestone on it, okay? You take that picture and then you go to Navionics and you find that same milestone. You open up WordSwag and you bring in a photo that you're going to make a graphic out of. When it brings up the text, you hit the slider and slide it down to where the text goes away. At the end of it, when you're going to save the photo, it says add logo. When you add logo, you actually go and find the screenshot of the Google Earth image and you put it over the top of the Navionics app and you end up getting a layered image. You get an image where your Navionics is over the top, and all you have to do is line up, increase or decrease the opacity until you get them to lay on top of each other, and it's like you've created a cheat sheet for yourself to where you're seeing real world imagery with topographical charts on top of it or underneath it, depending on which one you want to prioritize. So I plan to do a tutorial video about this, like walking you through the system, but the point is, to answer Russell's question, is it sounds like to me the question is based on how do I explain that you get out on the water and find the fish when you get there. The actual answer to the question is, and maybe this is what you were asking and hopefully it was, is that you don't go out looking once you get there. You have an idea of where you're going before you make it to the boat ramp. You have an idea of what boat ramp you're going to because you know what area you want to get to. I start with the boat ramps and then use that to establish a radius ring and figure out what targets are within paddling distance or motoring distance from that boat ramp. Otherwise, there's no point in looking at the chart. If you don't have the ability to get there, it might as well be Atlantis or Narnia. You're not going to make it, so it doesn't matter how awesome the spot is. So take your boat ramps, take the area of the lake that you plan to fish, and start to break it down and put radius rings around those lakes and say, what targets should I focus on inside that radius ring? It sounds like you, Russell, have already identified about a 3-mile range. So put yourself a 1.5 mile radius ring and say, what targets inside this ring are the things that I should really focus on, and go out there and fish with a purpose. Eliminate the bad spots, identify the good spots, and build on that as you continuously improve as an angler. Man, I'm glad you like the content. I'm glad you love watching the channel. I hope this made a lot of sense for you guys. Download the Google Earth, upgrade your subscription to it, get the Navionics app, make sure that you always have that at your fingertips. And I promise you, you can take those 2 tools and come up with a few tricks for yourself, similar to what I do with the WordSwag app, and you can really get dialed in with some low-tech solutions to finding fish, even if you don't have a $1,500 to $5,000 depth finder. So my best practice suggestion for you is to have a plan, know where you're gonna go before you throw, know where you're gonna go before you paddle out there, and you don't spend time paddling around looking for spots, you spend time paddling around getting to spots. So anyway, guys, I'm Chad Hoover, Kayak Bass Fishing. Hope you enjoy these instructional videos. Give the video a big thumbs up. Do me a favor, leave a suggestion in the suggestion box, because to be honest with you, it's a lot like how when I try to improve things here at Fish USA, by dropping a suggestion in the suggestion box, that's what you're doing to help us improve the channel. So use those comments, kind of like the suggestion box at the place you work. If you want to make things better, leave a suggestion and help us help you. Help us help you. Anyway, we'll see y'all in the next video.